All right, we're all here. We're all alive. The zombie apocalypse did not happen yesterday after the emergency alert test happened, but there was another emergency that happened yesterday, moments after Trump said these words.
A lot of people have been calling me about Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever is best for the country and for the Republican Party. And some great people. Would you take the say we have some great people. Would you take the job? A lot of people have asked me about it. I'm focused. You know, we're leading. I don't know you. I'm sure you don't read too much in the papers, but we're leading by like 50 points for president. You know, my focus is totally on that. If I can help them during the process, I would do it. But we have some great people in the Republican Party.
So was that an announcement? Was that not an announcement? It's actually not relative to the story, but it's what happened afterwards that is relative to the story. Also occurring yesterday, Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan now both announcing they'll be running for Speaker of the House. If you watched my broadcast yesterday, you would have caught that I said that Jim Jordan would be one of those finalists, if not McCarthy, who goes back in, even though he says he won't. And then, of course, we have the Trump wild card. But the Trump wild card has caused a lot of things to happen. I don't want to neglect to announce also that Nancy Pelosi's office was emptied out. So nice, isn't it? Not so much changing. Evicted from her private office in the Capitol by interim House Speaker. And who has to empty it out? Hakeem Jeffries' staff. You heard me right. But this is where the story is today. And it needs to remain focused on the story that just happened. A radical shift, a huge U-turn seconds after Trump made that announcement, or not lack of an announcement. But you see, this has to do with something different. Mayorkas and the Biden administration are running scared. Something rocked them to the core, chilled them to the bone. Say it however you want, but things changed yesterday. And that's the story we're going to cover for you today. Before we do, if you haven't yet been over to Restricted Republic, that's your means of supporting me. I hope you'll subscribe here. Please don't forget to subscribe here. Help me share the video. But your means of supporting me are at restrictedrepublic.com, the platform we created, Lisa Haven and me, to bring you all the news that matters. No commercials, no interruptions, no sponsors, beholden to no one but our audience. It's the way we designed it. It's the way the news is meant to be. And I want you to get over there today because we're going to continue on with another absolute blood-boiling maneuver made by, well, almost everybody in the Biden administration. Can't believe what I heard. And I'm going to play it for you. It's 3 minutes of audio and visual that will simply turn you inside out. You'll, the words I want to use right now, well, those we can use at Restricted Republic, and I will. So get over there today. Use discount code INDEPENDENCE. Get monthly checkout. That will get you $4 a month for 2 years plus 14 days for free. RestrictedRepublic.com. And now let's roll further into the story. Mayorkas cites immediate need to waive regulations to build the border wall in Texas as immigration surges. Okay. Few issues with that statement. Immigration surges. A, not the appropriate term whatsoever. Why would you build a wall to stop legal immigration? But they don't know how to use words anymore now, do they? But why yesterday? Why after that announcement from Trump? Or is it really have little to do with Trump and more to do with Jim Jordan? It's giving you a little hint as to where we're going. Remember how resolute the Biden administration has been about this.
No, there will not be another foot of wall constructed on my administration. Number one.
Number one. And he's stuck with that. He has put law after law, regulation after regulation to stop progress of that wall. But what happened yesterday? Why now is it an immediate need? Trump got to come out. President Trump is always right. The Trump campaign said in a statement to Fox News Digital. That's why he built close to 500 miles of powerful new wall on the border and would have been finished by now. Instead, crooked Joe Biden turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminal aliens. The administration has said Congress needs to provide more funding and pass legislation to fix a broken system, which it says it is working. A broken system. No, Mayorkas actually says in testimony it's a broken system. And trust me, I am giving him no credit for anything. Meanwhile, the administration is getting growing calls for more action from liberal states and cities because once all those immigrants started showing up in their cities, now suddenly it became a problem. And Biden's phone is blowing up. I'm certain of that, as you know it is, because you've seen those coming out of New York and so many other liberal cities saying it must end for their own selfish purposes, of course. So now we're going to waive 26 federal laws to allow border wall construction in South Texas, and you're just supposed to believe this just magically happened overnight. Magically happened overnight. The administration changed their entire mind. Donald Trump says he'll be waiting for his apology. But it's more than just an apology. It's something else. And it's more than just migrant numbers hit highest ever recorded number in 1 month. Going down in that article, by the way, sorry. Customs and Border Protection, sources tell Fox News total migrant encounters for September exceeded 260,000. We've known this is a problem. It's been a problem since day one. Why now are you suddenly going to deal with the problem that you have avoided from day one? Something scared you. Something made you nervous for you to take a 180 now, didn't it? Mayorkas now says we need to immediately build a border wall, but I was told by Biden's administration that border walls were racist, but no, they're not. Throw that aside. Just a few, I think, when was this published? A little bit over a month ago, a month and about 2 days. Trump's border wall caused significant cultural environmental damage, watchdog finds. But now, sorry about that, but now again, push that aside. It makes no difference. Something happened. Especially remembering in August, Biden sold portions of the wall that he now wants to build. Is he going to pay for what he sold that we'll now have to rebuy to start building the wall again? Probably not. You and I will pay for it, of course. But you see, all this leads to one conclusion. They have broken more rules or ethics, call it what you will, than any administration I could remember, well, outside of one. Sorry, Bill. And now we're here. Now they come up with this brilliant idea that's been out there the entire time, that they have rejected and pushed aside this entire time. Well, we have a problem, don't we? Jim Jordan or Donald Trump as Speaker would start an impeachment hearing. McCarthy was saving him. Saving who exactly? Who was McCarthy protecting? You see, McCarthy's been protecting not only the FBI, not only the IRS, but Mayorkas and many in the administration who should be on trial. And Jim Jordan has never minced words about this. In a duck and cover move now, they suddenly peel back 26 federal laws. Suddenly we're to believe they're listening to liberal cities. No. Jim Jordan suggests Mayorkas may have perjured himself in a new letter to DHS, or we can just listen in to the back and forth between these two. And in my opinion, it is most likely that Jim Jordan takes Speaker of the House. And Jim Jordan, above many other in the administration, seems to despise one man more than anyone else. Alejandro Mayorkas, who now, moments after Jim Jordan makes his announcement, has decided to start building the wall. Isn't that convenient? Think that will keep him out of the hot seat? If you haven't watched the exchanges between these two, here's a little bit of it.
Appreciate that. You've said that before, so I got that point. Don't mean to cut you off, but I got to get this. Now, in your testimony, you said you've arrested 14,000 smugglers. Seems like a big number to me. What happened to those guys?
Those individuals, Mr. Chairman, are, if the evidence so supports, prosecuted for smuggling.
You've referred them to DOJ. You've arrested them. You get them over to DOJ. What's happened to them? Have they been indicted, taken to trial, found guilty? Are they in prison somewhere? What's the status?
Mayorkas, as always, does not give a straight answer. Jordan challenges him further. I'll get you the information, Mayorkas states. He does this time and time again.
The gentleman yields back. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Just a couple things to remind you. I know you have some sharp people there sitting behind you who work at the department. There's a number of things we want responses to, and I've been keeping a list throughout the things. I just want to reiterate that, and then we'll adjourn the hearing and let you get back to your office. We want to know the number of removals. Obviously, we've asked that several times, so if you could please get us that number. We will put this in some kind of written correspondence to you, but we just want to emphasize we want that number. We want to know the status of the 14,000 smugglers you referenced in your opening statement. What has happened? Is DOJ prosecuting? Have you referred them? What is the status? Have any of those individuals been arrested multiple times? We want to know the status of the 140 on the terrorist watch list this year, the 238 total over the last 2 years, what their status is. And specifically, when you said the IG's report was wrong, and the IG's report said that one of these individuals on the terrorist watch list has been released into the country. We want to know specifically how you interpret and why you say the IG is wrong. Then we want to know the parole categories that Mr. Bishop raised in his questioning, how you can categorize someone and then still categorize a whole group of individuals and then say you're still going case by case.
I think you're starting to get the feeling that Mayorkas knows and the Biden administration worked to protect him against Jim Jordan.
Louisiana is recognized.
Thank you. I yield to Mr. Jordan.
Secretary, have any of the 42 illegal migrants on the terrorist watch list or no-fly list encountered on our southwest border been released into the United States?
Ranking Member Jordan, as I mentioned before, I will provide that data to you with respect to the disposition of each one. I do not know the answer to your question.
The Secretary of Homeland Security does not know the answer to the status of 42 individuals who came to our southern border illegally, are on the no-fly list and the terrorist watch list. You do not know whether they have been released or not into the country. That's your testimony.
Ranking Member Jordan, as I've said before, I will provide you the data. I
yield back to the gentleman. That's amazing.
Mr. Secretary, this is.
And you have your case. Nothing happens for no reason. Nothing is a coincidence. Mayorkas knows that he will be public enemy number one in Jim Jordan's book, and with the power that he will be able to utilize as Speaker of the House, things in Washington. And I've always liked Jim Jordan. I've read where there has been issues, and I understand that. And any politician in my book, no matter who they are imperfect to say the least. However, when you watch these stories develop and you see a radical move by the Biden administration overnight, and you can attribute it directly to exchanges between two men, well, you know what? It's nice to see them go 180 in the opposite direction, a complete reverse course. It's nice, finally, somebody put them on their heels. I love you all as I continue on to something now that is absolutely going to make your blood boil. It will be 3 minutes that, trust me, you will not regret giving up that portion of your day today. Unfortunately, it's going to leave you infuriated. It is a story beyond belief. They truly think we're idiots. What they just reverse course on so many in the administration is befuddling, dumbfounding, and absolutely atrocious. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.